Money back with another video. So they saying that they're having problems in Philadelphia. Who would have thought? They having problems in Philly. It's a bunch of self-snitching gangster war. Literally, they at war. They robbing people for tens and thousands of dollars and then posting a bunch of stuff online about it. Because low-key, Philly, they get so disrespectful and they telling themselves online so much for the internet, but they doing street stuff. So I don't get it. You already won in the streets, so why you have to tell the internet? I don't know, man. I'm just MasoMoney. So let's get straight into this video. Let's watch it together. And let's do it.
Go get that money, don't stop. Let's go. I'm in the spot, it's just me and the hitters. I'm spending quality time with the killers.
Police are on the scene of a homicide in Mount Airy.
Oh, a body?
Philadelphia police tonight are investigating a deadly shooting in East Mount Airy.
A cleanup job Helena Reed never expected.
Right.
The back window of her car shot out. Her glass front door shattered too. Both hit by stray gunfire early Thursday morning.
And I just heard, I think it's sad that we have to go through that and you can't even be safe in your own home.
Police say the violence erupted just outside of Reed's home on the 1200 block of Easton Road in Stenton around 12:30. Investigators say the gunman fired at least 33 times at a man who was driving in the area. Surveillance video captured what happened moments later. The shooting victim crashed 2 blocks away. The chain reaction impact spotted at the intersection of Easton and Lober. That surveillance video came from this 24-hour gas station.
You know it's lit. That's why shit and resting in piss. It's 3 dead niggas in the split. Mike, Lil, Steve.
You named him?
Backdoor robbery, whispers about a drop, and one night at the Getty changed everything. 15 shots later, and the whole neighborhood was at war.
Wow, whole neighborhood.
This is the real story of how the streets of uptown Philly turned friends into enemies.
Bro, literally wearing his
Some grew up in the same houses, played on the same football and basketball teams, and ate at the same tables.
Close like
but when
that.
money, pride, and betrayal entered the picture, those bonds broke. What started as a robbery turned into funerals, murders at vigils, and a war that swallowed everyone in its path.
Teenager is the victim of a deadly shooting in East Germantown.
Y'all be capping, y'all rap, y'all some actors. Glizzy killer dead, we the big get backers. Fool in his fitted cap, he a big cap. Man, all y'all homies dead, y'all ain't never been a factor.
Okay.
A man is shot to death. It happened around 11 o'clock last night at East Duval and Morton Streets. Police arrived and found the victim shot multiple times. Investigators located more than 40 shell casings.
Crazy.
Wow. Ski man, that was my rock.
It is upgrading and adding security cameras to this corridor, and we want to promote Vernon Road as one of the safest neighborhood commercial corridors in our city.
In East Mount Airy, police say a 28-year-old man was killed execution style near his front door on the 800 block of Vernon Road.
I got homies from the 5 that's always trying to crack a 6. I'm the featured Vernon Road, so don't get caught up in the mix.
Safe is neighborhood.
EBK, nigga. Everybody K, nigga. 1500K, WSK, 1400. You could be the next K.
That's crazy. Do anything.
Good evening. This happened recently in a North Philadelphia neighborhood. A white neighborhood which suddenly found itself with a stranger in its midst. A Negro who tried to occupy this house.
Dang,
this was the result. One of the most delicate and dangerous problems in human relations faced by the community as a whole.
Real estate is the backbone of U.S. wealth building
100%.
Because it's said to be widely accessible. It's supposed to appreciate over time and can be passed across generations.
It's a sure thing.
At the same time, unequal access to homeownership is one of the strongest drivers of the racial wealth gap and broader inequality in America to this day.
Yeah, I understand.
Home equity makes up the bulk of middle-class wealth. Unlike stocks or business ownership, which are more common among the wealthy, real estate is the most accessible form of long-term investment for the average household.
Long-term investment.
In the 1950s, realtors used blockbusting, leveraging maps like the HOLCs to instill fear in white homeowners by claiming that their neighborhoods were, quote, turning black. These tactics coerced some white people into selling their homes cheaply, which realtors then resold to black families migrating north. including to areas like Germantown.
Migration that is coming into the city comes from the rural areas. The largest reservoir of such...
All right, I know we've been serious. Look at this. Look at this. If anybody here look like this, go ball. I'm trying to help you. I want to see you be the best version of yourself. That is insane. I don't care if it's
population is in the south. People there, white and Negro, are moving off of the farms and into our city. Into Philadelphia are coming large numbers of Negroes, seeking jobs, seeking to improve their way of life, a better way of life for their children.
As black families started to move into Mount Airy during the 1950s through the 70s, some white residents left for the suburbs, while some stayed. That population shift reduced the local tax base and weakened the commercial corridors, since many longtime customers and their dollars left.
But about 17% of all Philadelphia Negro families are still occupying dilapidated dwellings. In a word, slums. And here is born the driving need for a change.
By one, I mean people in panic, listing their property for sale, selling for almost any price, and moving away. By staying, I mean people who get together, meet their new neighbors, make friends.
One of the neighborhoods in which this change has been accomplished with a minimum of bitterness is tree-shaded East Johnson Street in Germantown. This is frankly a mixed block. And according to Mrs. Jane Wilhelm of 202 East Johnson, the change in itself need hold no terror.
Yes, we knew that there were Negro families living in the block below this block, but we wanted to live here.
So
in
Germantown turned into one of the most dangerous blocks in Philly after this?
We have new neighbors on both sides of us, too. One of them is colored and the other is white. Across the street, they're all Negroes.
What were some of the fears voiced by your white neighbors who moved away?
Chiefly, they were afraid of the property values. They, first off, they wanted to be sure that they got all the money that they could out of their properties. And that they felt that the property would depreciate the minute that the Negroes moved in. Well, in any kind of situation where new people move into a neighborhood, there is getting to know people, and our present neighbors are, we had to get to know them too, learn how they manage their children, whether they were interested in the community activities, such as our neighborhood organization.
Mr. Perkins, when did you and your husband... The problems have arisen...
Too much history. I used to fall asleep in class. Only sometimes, though.
70s through the early 90s.
For sale to Negroes.
From the 70s through the early 90s, Philadelphia as a whole faced a crippling financial crisis triggered by industries leaving the city and the loss of middle-class taxpayers themselves, expensive union contracts, and ongoing financial mismanagement. This turmoil drove the city to the brink of bankruptcy by 1990-91. As a result of prolonged austerity, critical public services like sanitation, policing, and street maintenance were sharply cut, leaving neighborhoods such as Germantown and Mount Airy, particularly their commercial areas, to feel the brunt of this neglect. As for blockbusting itself, the practice was eventually outlawed and had all but entirely disappeared from the city by around 1980. Since then, many neighborhoods victimized by redlining and blockbusting have managed to overcome those obstacles to varying degrees of success. There's no official boundary between Mount Airy and Germantown. The most common consensus is that Johnson Street is a de facto boundary. However, others consider Washington Lane to be Mount Airy's southern edge. The question is moot, however, as the two neighborhoods blend together very gradually.
Oh, so they blend
99% of the kids and teenagers in Uptown are going to school, playing sports, and graduating high school.
Right.
Schools like Mastery Charter Pickett boast a 95% graduation rate, and Lincoln High School, which is in Roxborough but attended by a lot of people from Uptown, boasts a 100% graduation rate.
Like if you bad.
Central High, which is on the outskirts of Mount Airy, is a top-ranked school in the area. Graduates from Central attend some of the nation's most selective colleges.
Okay, so that's the
and Masterman, the best school in the city with a highly selective 3% acceptance rate, has a good amount of students from Uptown.
Okay.
But there are a few that get lost in the shuffle of having to survive in Philly. Now, before we get into this, I want to clarify that I was not there for any of these events I'm about to talk about, obviously. A lot of this is street rumors and innuendo.
Innocent until proven guilty. Almost got his head smashed in. Just got your gun took at the train station, bro.
Hey, your man got shot under the train. 15th Street, bro. Come on, let's talk, bro.
He's in a gang war. He gets on Instagram Live and not only says that he got somebody shot, he names the exact block. I wouldn't be surprised if he said the name. He different.
Oh. Your man got shot at 15th Street by a 14-year-old, bro.
That wasn't true.
As we know, there'll be teenagers that don't live by society's rules. For one reason or another, whether it be absent parents, poverty, or personality disorders, and untreated mental health issues, some slip through the cracks. Teenagers left to their own devices will find a way to make trouble or have it find them. Drug dealing is the easiest way to make a quick, profitable business. Without the headaches of the bureaucracy of a legal business, a drug business can be established in a day. The people in our video today would start their story that way.
Okay.
Look, fuck, I be get put on the poster. Keep a Glock on my hip, ain't no holster. Ain't no left for a thought like I'm Sosa. We gon' slide through his block with a toaster. Extra clip like we shooting a movie. I got nubs in the cup with the Uzi. She get wet like she in the jacuzzi. When I'm high off the lean, I get groovy. And y'all know how we bumming. Y'all niggas is pussy little niggas, so why would you try me? When those shooters, they owe me a favor. I give them your name and they catching a body. When I'm about to get rich, so don't jump on my dick. I'ma grab me a portion of Mozzie. I might catch me a lick and get back on my shit.
Glizzy was from around the 6600 block of Chew and Sharp Neck or Johnson. That area is called Dogtown. The young boys coming from this beef called themselves the Sixers and would click up with Chew and Shelton
Dorito
and the
Man
P&B young
runs.
boys.
Who's Dorito Man?
Collectively, they would all call themselves the Torturers.
The Torturers?
Hop Out Blick rapped about this beef a lot, even though it was from before he was even known for real. You can find Glizzy at the deli, down Chew and Sharp Neck a lot. He played for the Mount Airy Bantams as a young boy. As a teenager, he was a small-time trapper from his area. The area in Uptown that we are speaking of is very small compared to the rest of the city. The politics up here is different than the rest of Philly as well. Allegiances are very tenuous since there aren't any well-established gangs that stretch back decades like in, say, North and South Philly. But much like the rest of the city, everyone knew each other, or at least knew of each other. Ski was from over the other side of Stanton Ave. He was a mid-level trap but was extremely militant about saving his money. His mom caught wind of his drug dealing ways and kicked him out of the house unless he stopped. To him, trapping was working out so far, so much so that he was probably making more than his mom at this point. By that time, he was 18, so he left. But much like a lot of unfocused 18-year-olds, his mind was strictly on his money. So much so that he didn't even get a spot of his own. He crashed with family and what he thought were friends at the time. Ski paid his way and was taking care of himself. Zay, his cousins, was Neefy from Dogtown. Neefy claimed the Sixers. Ski ended up staying with Zay and his grandma, who was also Neefy's grandma. Zay saw the amount of money Ski was making and thoughts started swirling in his head. The streets talked. Rumors started to swirl about how much money Ski was actually making, and eventually the situation reached Glizzy's ears.
And they hating on him? His own people
Allegedly, according to street rumors, Zay called Glizzy and told a couple people that Ski had thousands in the safe in the basement. Glizzy hatched a plan to rob Ski with someone else at the grandma's house. Glizzy was hesitant at first, knowing the backlash and blowback that would come from stealing a large amount of cash from someone. He did his calculations and figured it was worth it, and Ski wouldn't do much about it. This was the worst miscalculation he could have made. After the robbery, the home invasion reeked of a back door. The robbers knew exactly where the money was, in the basement.
I'ma grab me a portion of Mozzie. I might catch me a lick and get back on my shit and just go do a drill in a Johnny. Then it's back to the 6, throw the gas in the whip, then we use them again if they try me.
So you just didn't have nothing a few weeks before. You go and you rob your homie's popular trapping mans. And you don't lay low key after stealing tens of thousands of dollars. You go online and make a video with his money to get internet fame. That's genius. No, you're dumb. Why would you? You're like, he really thought that made sense, man. Because he shoot back at me, he just gonna shoot back. We gonna shoot.
My doggy, I know he gon' fucking end him. A nigga trip, I bend him. Hey, bro, he fucking keep spinning till he catch a nigga. 50 in my Glock, keep shooting till I stretch a nigga. Catch him, let it pop, my dog's gon' go and fetch a nigga. Let that semi pop, my pistol giving lectures, nigga.
Ski's first reaction was calm. He figured he'd make the money back, although he wanted instant revenge, steadily plotting on how he would get it. Homies told him to chill and wait it out. No blood had been shed as of yet, but as news of the robbery spread, it was definitely time for people to pick a side.
Right.
St. Raymond's, Lee's, and Edmonds, all names of schools that most people from this story attended. Football, basketball, baseball, boxing, high school. This is where all these guys knew each other from.
Okay. They're from the same
In
neighborhood.
the days and weeks after the robbery, instead of laying low, Glizzy flaunted the money and taunted Ski on YouTube and Instagram.
On YouTube.
And by extension, most of that side of Stanton Ave. One day, Ski was trapping at the Getty at Mount Airy and Lober. This was his main trap spot. A lot of traffic and no cameras at the time. It was the perfect place to make some money, in his mind.
He just post up.
On this particular day, in October of 2020, Ski bumped into Glizzy and Glizzy's man, Nails, as they went into the gas station.
Oh, and they ran into him
At
after
this moment, Ski had already decided that the disrespect had gone too far, but actually seeing Glizzy in person had him steaming.
Oh, and he got up with him. So he robbed him, and what'd he do when he saw him?
At this time in 2020, it was still a Getty gas station. It's now Liberty Gas or something like that, but people from the area still call it the Getty. There wasn't a camera at this particular Getty at this time. Ski hid behind the yellow Goodwill donation bins and waited for Glizzy to come out the store. According to PhillyUnsolvedMurders.com, Yusuf Nash and Glizzy was shot on the 1000 block of East Mount Airy Ave on Saturday, October 17th, 2020 at 9:30 p.m. Philadelphia police officers responded to the scene and found Glizzy lying in the street. He was suffering from multiple gunshot wounds.
Man, he stayed true to that.
Glizzy was transported to Albert Einstein Medical Center, where he died that night. Yusuf Nash,
did him bad,
who was 20 at the time, resided on the 6000 block of Chew Avenue, according to police.
We caught the 6 was out of bounds, so we had cracked it. How the fuck you think that nigga Glizzy got a closed casket? 15 to the face, 1 to the hand, bitch, nigga dropped his ratchet. I took his high, I'm the biggest back door, so don't be trying to my block. Scared, left a nigga face down, put 15 in his top, hit his homie in his hand, he wasn't trying to bang his high. 19 next, this bitch got button, this bitch sticking out my shirt. I back the 6, I'm hopping out, think I seen Glizzy on the shirt.
Come on,
bro. Me in the track, this ain't no scat, bro, it ain't no looking back. Bruce, come get.
Coming out of the store, he walked him down and hit him 15 times. Glizzy was with Nails. Ski chased Glizzy and Nails back to the car. Nails was shot in his hand. Ski tossed a gat in a trash can and ran to the crib, or so the story was told. Ski called a couple people, including Mikey, who went to grab it from the trash can. Rumors started swirling that Neefy had made the call to give Glizzy's drop up. These rumors were unsubstantiated, but went to show that this was pick a side time.
Right.
At this time, you had 1400 Vernon Road, 1500 Wadsworth, and even some young boys from core side of Vernon Road on one side, and PMB and Dogtown on the other.
Okay.
What's this up? Ain't no copping, please. Fuck your bitch for the drop, got what I need. It's up here.
Niggas be talking about bodies. I put the 4 on the mat. I carry the 4 on my bag.
This was before all the names was being said in songs, and while drill music in Philly was picking up. As people like Hop Out Blick and YBC Duel used the violence around them to make music years later down the line. Around this time is when a lot of the violence that's rapped about today was actually taking place. Many of the people who died in this war weren't actually rappers. They, however, are rapped about heavily to this day. So remember that as we go through this story. Speaking of rumors, when Glizzy robbed Ski, it was rumored that Neefy gave up the info that led Glizzy to the house. Neefy steadfastly denied all the rumors.
So Neefy said
he was so confident in his denials that he attended Glizzy's vigil. According to PhillyUnsolvedMurders.com, Hanif Poles was shot on a 500 block of East Duval Street on Saturday, October 24th.
So they thought he was with it in the scheme, and they telling him like, bro, we think you had something to do with it. And you showed up to the man's funeral and they blamed you? You got a better heart than me.
2020 at 12:22 a.m. Philadelphia police officers responded to the scene and located Hanif lying next to a white 2015 Ford Edge. Medics arrived at the scene and then confirmed that Hanif had died. Yeah. If you notice, October 24th is exactly 1 week after Glizzy was killed. That's two young men killed in 1 week, allegedly behind this robbery. And if you know anything about the streets, then you know things can go one or two ways from here. The police can arrest the murderers, and the beef will more than likely die down. Or the murderers can be allowed to roam free throughout the community. And then we can have the community deal with it themselves. Often throughout America, a population's cooperation with police largely depends on their trust of the police. While most Black Americans, according to a Gallup poll, are confident in police and are satisfied with community relations, they lag behind whites significantly and 100%. Are 10 to 15 points behind the national average.
Never in the history of Philadelphia did the community trust the police or the police trust the community.
Yeah, I think
although those numbers have been increasing over the last few years, which might be a good sign.
Right, it definitely is.
Michael Meredith would be the next victim of violence related to this beef.
Michael Meredith?
He was from 1500 Wadsworth, and he was cool with mostly everybody from uptown.
That's a camera in his hand, right?
He was from 1500.
What's that in his hand? That's a camera. That's a good kid. He has a camera in his hand.
Wadsworth, and he was cool with mostly everybody from uptown. This story gets sadder when you learn that a lot of these guys were family.
Oh, really family?
He would be with Ski and Ryan all the time, trapping and getting money. He was quiet and laid back and kept to himself. On the day he died, Philly was in a deep winter freeze.
Wow,
after a February snowstorm, Mike had to dig his car out, so he went out to shovel and was seen by his ops.
And they ran into him.
A week before his death, Mikey had gotten into a shootout. He had a legal registered firearm, but he wasn't licensed to carry. He was arrested for this incident and bailed out. Mikey didn't really get into the dissing and the trolling, but he was associated, and that was enough for him to be targeted. Like I mentioned before, these guys were all from uptown, and this all started over an alleged $30,000 robbery.
Oh, so he stole 30K.
Sides were being picked, even though East Side and West Side already had beef.
Right.
Ski went to...
Oh, yeah, he gonna do it. That's a freaky shooter. See, and his name is I Stand Over. He got his tongue in between his gap, and he got cookout gloves on to go shoot ops. Oh no, he gonna do it. He got nothing to lose. He really got nothing to lose. He gonna take your head off of your body. I don't want no problems with this guy. The freaky shooter. Why he look so excited to go shoot people? Oh no.
At Fells with Sear a few years back. Sear is from 1400 Vernon with NLB Sill and Reek and Chant and a wild young boy Ryan.
Okay.
Went to FS Edmonds and Roxborough.
Oh, so that's LaRon.
Dropped out in the 10th grade when the beef turned up.
Oh, real
his
dropout.
life was starting to be threatened.
I see.
Ryan never saw his father and lived with his mom and his grandma. His step-pop was around. He played football for the Mount Airy Bantams and met Ski when they were in the 3rd grade. Ryan used to be cool with people over east, like Leafy, Clay, and Lil J.
Jump out crazy, we going jump out crazy. From that 6 side, I be with my torches. I didn't sit up, I said both sides.
He used to hoop at the Mount Pleasant playground up until the beef turned up in 2020.
So
in 2022, a fight surfaced on the internet of people who claimed either Sixers or Say Slide, I forget. They punched on Ryan at Only Terminal.
Oh, they beating him, huh?
Ryan got jumped and lost his pole that day.
Oh, and they robbed him? They beat him up, stripped him, and robbed him?
Go ahead, track star, fuck on, nigga.
Yeah, like the hell that day.
Track star, nigga. Keep running, nigga.
So, what'd he do about it? I hope he changed his life. He probably changed his life, y'all.
In 2023, Ryan started dropping music talking about the war. There was an argument posted to YouTube like 3 years ago when he was arguing with Hop Out Blick when I first heard of him.
Bro. You any nigga,
That's your
you a
homie.
fan.
I
He died
think
on
we
Los
did that. That's your
Angeles,
homie.
bro. That don't got nothing to do with no Philly beef, bro.
He died
Shit,
in Los
y'all know what we doing to y'all though. What y'all? Like y'all don't got no bees, bro.
Y'all don't got no bees.
Y'all never caught nothing, bro.
Yes.
Y'all never did nothing.
Yes, we, bro.
What y'all do to any of my homies, bro?
We go
viral.
Viral on hit.
Y'all never did shit on my homies.
Yes, we did,
bro. Y'all didn't.
Cook the nigga you post.
Grown gang.
Y'all never did nothing this ski.
Yeah, you post Mikey.
Y'all didn't do that.
Mikey.
Bro, stop claiming another nigga. Stop claiming another nigga wreck, bro. That's not your wreck, bro. That's not PNB wreck, bro.
Bro, we fried your man, bro.
That's Dogtown wreck, bro. Stop claiming PNB wreck, bro.
We fried him.
Torture's rampage is telling on about these niggas here different, bro.
I guess, bro. I guess, bro. And your man Clay was supposed to come outside, but he let a bitch die. That's wild. The fuck, bro?
Ski, for a few months after the passing of Glizzy and Neef, played it cool.
Right,
he continued to sell his weed and make his couple dollars, although he would be trolling. The whole time, Dogtown was trying to catch up with him. Glizzy was killed in October. By May of 2021, they would catch up with him.
Yeah.
Khalil Burgess, 18, a passenger in the rear driver's side seat, was shot fatally in the head. Nazir Vizi, 19, or Ski, who was in the rear passenger side seat, was fatally shot multiple times in his torso.
Damn.
He was pronounced dead at 3:30 a.m. that Monday in May of 2021. The third victim, an 18-year-old man who was in the front passenger seat, survived a gunshot wound to his left arm. The lone gunman was in a car that pulled along the knee side and opened fire, police said.
One dude pulled up by himself?
Got a lot of sticks, a lot of clips, and plus we like to walk down with some confidence. Get hawked down cause he tried to diss. He talk now cause he tried to diss. You know we slide for Glizzy, watch your mouth and use some common sense. We did that hit, it's obvious, bro, up the score is positive. Watch I take off like rocket shits, big gun, 2 beams, I'm not inside. He tried to diss. No I got caught in that can flip.
Bro, I don't like
Fitted cap, he a big cap. Man, all your homies dead, y'all ain't never been a factor. Call a section 8, the court is there. Michael, why we lurking? Man's gonna look like niggas purging. They see Brody and get nervous.
I couldn't confirm this, but the street stick to this version of it was in the.
Hey, they gonna go earn. Slide with sticks like Timmy Turner.
Allegedly, Ski's girl at the time was in the car as well. I couldn't confirm this, but the street stick to this version of events. This killing might have been a setup. The driver was said to have followed people from Dogtown on Instagram and was one of 2 people of the 5 in the car not shot. Khalil Burgess, or Lil, wasn't too deep in. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
With the wrong people.
Ski was getting his car tinted in North Philly when the shooting happened. After the death of Glizzy, Ski and the people around him, including Ron, were doing a lot of trolling. And the whole trolling thing seemed to catch up with him.
Really?
Clump my Subies chunky, I be walking with a man. When we bent, he wasn't out, so I'm like, fuck it, get his man. How about that car and let it fly? When he fall, I hit his head. 50 popping out your bushes, trying to push some shit to bed. Asking around, they know about that, so I only
Can't even
speak
put
with
his face on the video.
18-year-old was shot. August of 2021, police say an 18-year-old was shot and killed in Philadelphia's East Monterey neighborhood. It happened on the 6700 block of Musgrave Street just before 9 p.m. on Wednesday. Police identified the teen as Lionel Samuels, or Too Sturdy, or as they called him, Sturrball. When police arrived, they found him in the courtyard of Simon Garden Apartments with gunshot wounds to the stomach and back. Teens with no outlet for anger, no guidance, and a false sense of invincibility leads to years-long wars like this. This beef is still playing out to this day. People like Chucky, Leafy, Tino, and the girl Carissa we will speak of in part 2. Also, we will get more into how PNB plays into this. Expect that video before the end of September.
All right, man, I appreciate y'all for watching the video with MasoMoney. If y'all enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and then just watch another video.